Hello guys, good morning, and thanks for joining us today. Welcome to the first installment of the Alteryx Academy Summer Camp. My name is Gabriel, and I welcome you to the Alteryx Essentials. This is the first webinar. I'm going to talk to you about getting started with Designer. We will start with an overview and some simple steps to work with data into Alteryx Designer. Okay, just going to talk a little bit about myself. As I said, I'm Gabriel Jimenez. I am the sales engineer of Alteryx for Latin America and Mexico. That is my lovely wife and some pyramids in Mexico. It's Uxmal, in case you love to do that. I would like to share what is something that I can do with Alteryx. Is that something that I love is that I can do pretty much anything with data that I want. And every day I discover some new things I'm able to perform using Alteryx. And how do I feel, you may wonder, when I use Alteryx? Man, I feel like I have superpowers in analytics using Alteryx because of all the things I can do using it. And a little bit more about myself. As I said, I live in Mexico City, wonderful. I play basketball. Well, right now I'm not playing it, but I used to play basketball. I just love it. And this is my little doggy. It's called Lola. It's her name. And we just love her. So, and I have been in Alteryx since 2019, and I've been using Alteryx for about a year, and just love it and keep loving it more every day. So just to begin, this is the agenda. I'm going to talk about the upcoming trainings. As I said, this summer camp is comprised of several different webinars. This is the first one, and I'm going to show you what is coming. Then I will talk a little bit about the workflow background that I will build with you today. Some designer training that is available for you also, and a little bit about the support we have within Alteryx available as well for you. So about this, the community, if you haven't been there just yet, you should be there. You're going to love it. The community.alteryx.com. You can find answers to pretty much everything you need. If you have any issues, if you are stuck with some process, some data process, you can go there anytime. Even within Designer, you can go to the community or you can go to their browser and find answers to everything. You can also share your knowledge when you become proficient with Alteryx or with analytics. You can share your own knowledge over there. Connect with some peers and discover use cases, develop new tools, find new macros, and deepen your knowledge of our platform. So I highly recommend you to go there and get to know the community. It will be your best friend using Alteryx. Then as part of the community, we have the Alteryx Academy. There you can find interactive lessons, live trainings, weekly challenges. I love the weekly challenges because it's you learn a lot about the challenges you found there, and also the different ways that many people have to approach different problems, or the same problems, they have different approaches. If you solve it using one approach or one solution, you can find many different ones, and that will sharpen your knowledge. And also, you can find our product certification. We have 2 levels of certification that are completely free. You can log in there and find about it. As I mentioned, this is part of the Alteryx Academy, the summer camp. It begins today, June 8th, and it will go on to June 19th. It will be 10 days, 20 sessions. So you can go and register for many more sessions. This is the first one, but you can get all of it. These are the upcoming live trainings that will be available for you. The next one is the ABCs of reading an Alteryx workflow, getting to know your data, consolidating CRM, and so on. So this as well will be recorded for your convenience if you want to revisit it again later on. So should be very nice for you. And also, I'm going to talk to you about the workflow background. I'm going to build it with you step by step. So in this way, you can grasp about Alteryx Designer. And it's important to mention that you can find the link for this, all the content, the presentation I'm using, as well as the data and the workflow I'm going to build. You can find it there. You can download it and get it. So you can follow step by step this whole process with me. Or if you have any questions anytime, just let me know. I will be here. And with me is Jessie Cho. Right now, she will help me to answer all your questions. So, Jessie, are you there? Could you introduce yourself, please?
Hey everyone, welcome to the training. Excited for you guys to get started with Alteryx. Feel free to drop any questions in the Q&A and I'll answer them as quickly as possible.
All right, Jesse. Thank you. I'm just here with me, Peter Abrahamson as well. He will help me answer the questions that hopefully you will have along this training. So what will be the use case? This will be, it's not just a data related, it has a use case, a foundation within a business challenge we're facing. What's the issue? I have a retailer that has 3 store files, and it contains geographical information for each store. And we have another file that contains sales data for these 3 stores. We will use Designer just to combine those 4 files. We will choose one type of store to analyze, to take a look at the details of the sales, and we'll calculate the total sales per store and per region. And we'll be outputting the top 5 performing stores per region based on total sales. So let's begin. I'm going to share my screen right now. Let's see. All right. Wait just a bit to make sure that my screen is all right. Can you confirm that? Are you watching my screen right now, guys? Yeah. Jesse, are you able to see my screen now?
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much. So I'm going to begin. This is the final workflow that I'm going to build up with you today, just for you to get to know what I'm building. This is the workflow about the retail sales. I have here the 4 files I have. You see here, it's 4 different files. And then I will do some data preparation in here. Preparation, you know, I'm joining data, I'm filtering, I'm doing some formulas and a summarization. And then I'm going to output the results in the formats that I need about this, just to be aware that I can use this data down the road or down the line to use it as results. So this will be the resulting workflow I will be using. So what can you see in here is that it's visually building. It's visual. I have all these analytical blocks in here, or building blocks. I have several building blocks here, and all are connected or plugged. And you can see how the data is flowing. Always is flowing from left to right. So, and we have some documenting features that are very useful, because if you are not in the company, you are on vacation or something, and anybody else wants to open this workflow, or even yourself, maybe 2 weeks from now you want to maintain this workflow or make some changes, it will be difficult because you don't remember. That is my case. When I do something and I start to work with anything else, I tend to forget about what I did in this one. So you have some auto-documenting features. You see, here is the formula I'm using. Here is how I am sorting the data and how I'm filtering. That is automatic. I can add some more comments to make it easier, but those are out of the box, or they're automatic. Then I have here about this interface. I mean, here I have the canvas. The canvas is where I'm going to build this workflow. This is the end result. I will begin with a new one. Then down here I have the results window. It's when I can take a look at the data, the alerts or errors the system should have. And in here, in the left-hand side, I can configure. It's a configuration window. I can select the options. Pretty much everything is point and click, drag and drop, use the mouse. I don't have to type in anything. So it's very easy. And I think the most important part are the building blocks. I've been talking about building blocks. These are the blocks. We have so far 260 building blocks in here. So we have pretty much from everything from data access, in and out. We have preparation building blocks, like the ones that I've been using, join that are to put together some files. And I'm not going to take a look at every one, but just here in favorites. The favorites are the ones I'm going to use today. These are the most common building blocks you've been using with Alteryx when you start. So these are data preparation. You see it's color-coded, so the blue ones are data preparations, the purple ones are for joining data, and the green ones are for accessing and outputting data. So with that, I'm going to move this away, and I will begin. This was the overview of the interface, just for us to be talking about the same things. I will just begin. Here I have this new canvas. You see, it says drop tools here. I will begin with the first step is pretty much always is input data. I drag this one, and I'm going to the configuration window. Then here, just for a reference, I have data sources. I will use flat files for this example, or this workflow, but just for you to know, we can access pretty much every data source. For data source, I mean databases. Being on the cloud, like Amazon, like Microsoft, like Google, we have pretty much every data source you will need, all the traditional ones that are on-prem, like IBM, SQL Server, Oracle. I have all the access here. And going back to the files, we have all the common ones as well, being Excels that are omnipresent, always there, CSVs, XMLs, all the formats that you need, we have it. So, and for this sample workflow, I will browse and I will take these stores. I was saying that I have 3 stores and the sales for all these stores, and I want to take the details of those and create just one file. I have 4. I would like to have an output file only. So I will ingest the first one, the northern region. Then I can see here, this is a preview, the first 100 records I have here. So I have the data for each of my stores, where it's located, the latitude, longitude, the details for that location. Then I will drag a couple more because I will use 2 more stores for this, or 2 more regions. I will hit Open, Files, select File. Then I'm going to use South. The same here. The preview pops in. And the third one will be this West store. Here in Files, select West. And here I have the 3 data files. They are, well, are together, but are not integrated yet or blended. I will blend these, and I'm using this union tool. You see, this is important. It's very useful. If you don't know which one to use, you have the join that is to combine two data streams, or you have the union to combine two or more data streams with similar structures. I have here a description, a brief description of each of the building blocks, and I can open examples for each one. If you don't know how it works, you can go here, open example, and then it will open an already created, already configured example here, and as well as a brief explanation about what is done here, and all the options. If you choose by name, by position, if you manually configure the fields, you can look here. We have sample data, and we have here the configuration is already configured by name, and you can look at the results. I have two files, and here I have the results, how it's combined. So this is very useful for you to start to grasp some of the building blocks. So with that, I'm going to use this one. I'm dragging this union, and then I will drag. You see, all these building blocks have input anchors and output anchors. These ones, being the first ones I will be using, have only input anchors. But these ones have input and output anchors. So I can connect the input or the output to the input here. That means how the data will flow. You see? It's already connected. And also I can click on the lines, the wires, and document it. To know which file comes data or which one is it, I can come here and document it. This one is north. This one, if I click on the wire, has a name. This one is south, and so on. You see, I have it here, right here. So this way it's easier just to have it documented, but also to make it clearer for somebody else or for myself in the future. Here I have the results. I have joined or unioned these three files with this union tool. So what is nice, what's something I like, or I love a lot from Alteryx, you see here, I have the same input anchor here. This being a union, you can join as many data files as you want. So this, I have three, and I have one output anchor. And I can look at each one. I have the first one that has 163 records, is from south. Then the second one that is from north. You can look at here at 119 records. And the input number 3, I haven't named it. It has just 20 records. So in the union that I configured by name, it appended everyone on top of each other, and I have 302 records in the same 11 fields I have. So right now I have just one file. It's a blender. Then I'm going to open the last file, the sales. This one also just have the details, the store details. And then I'm going to go here, open. This one will be an Excel file. I'll open it. It asks for a sheet. I will go with the default. And in this file, I have the store number, the cash sales, credit sales, and total customers. This could be coming from my POS or my ERP or something, and I want to make a more clear report about where data is coming or which stores are performing better based on the sales. Then I will here select this select building block and drag it. This one is very useful because you can here select the data types. You can select the fields. I have all the fields, and you can rename the fields to make more sense for you, or put a description for yourself later on. And if you change the name, for example, I will change this one to just star for the sake of simplicity, and Alteryx highlights it, because this way you will know that this field change. And I'm going to join these two fields, these two files together, so I can join using just bubbles or text. For example, I have here the store number. This could be a potential error for you, and it's very easy to solve, but it sometimes happens when you are starting with Alteryx. I have here the store number. Sorry. I have the store number here, and you see it's a number, right? And I have in the CO sales file, is store number as well. It could join, but no, because here I can come to metadata. Metadata is the information I have about the data. I have here the data fields, that those are strings, some special objects, bubbles, that is the numeric format with the most precision, and VW string, that are text input. And here I have the int16. Once I see that, let's try to join these together. I will drag this join. You see it connects to the other one automatically if I put it near. Then here I have the configuration. It's very easy. And this one, by the way, works much like the VLOOKUP in Excel, because I would like to have in the left is the first file I have, the store number. Then in the right, I have the store. Is the field that matches in both files. And what will be the result? This Venn diagram of this circle, the J output will be the records that joined together, that have matching fields in both files. But here I have the orphans as well in the left. For example, some store data that has no sales, or in the right, some sales that have no store. That will be a potential error or deviation or anomaly that I could look into it after that. But I will run it. I can hit the blue button, or as well I can hit Ctrl-R. That is a shortcut for that. So if you want to save some seconds moving the mouse, you can use the shortcut, just like me. And here I have these results. I will review just for the sake of simplicity. I have an input, a right input, that is my CO sales. Then I have a left input, that it was all the details of my stores. And I have three outputs, L, J, and R. And those same ones are here in the results window. I have the L. You can see what was the input, the L, the output, the J, that is the joint files or the joint records, and the R. And I can review the results. For example, the J are the fields that, the stores that have sales. The three stores have sales. So this is the right result. It's like the VLOOKUP result. But here in the left, I don't have any stores that don't have sales. And in the right, I don't have sales that don't have a corresponding store. So I'm okay. I'm good to go with that. And then I will use this handy filter in here. I can click here, look at the description, and I can drag it. It's the one I want to use. I can put it here right in the J, because I want to work with the joint files or the joint records. And in the configuration of the filter, it's very easy. It's just point and click. So I came here, I select the field I would like. I'm going to focus just on the malls. Don't want any other store. So here I type mall. If I don't remember the field, it's very useful to come here, down here to the input, and I can browse to the field I'm looking to. And here I have, for example, I have some type FS. I don't want those, but I want them all. So that's very useful. And if you want to take a look at those types here, you can also come here. You see these ellipses are here. I can click on it and filter, and it's the same functionality. I type in mole, and the filter works in here as well. I got all the moles, and only 302 records from here. That's pretty useful as well, but I will stay with the one that I got here. I will run it to show you the results. This is something I love a lot from Alteryx that is very different from working with Excel, for example, that I can see all the data, not just the beginning. For example, how many records did I have before the filter? I had 302. Then the ones that have the condition true are 260 that are mole, and the ones that are not mole are 42. And this is a very good way to audit or to take a look at all the records. I don't lose any record at all at any time using Alteryx. So now I will drag a formula because I would like to do some calculations. I have, let's see, I have the sales. Let's browse the data just to explain a little bit here. I have total customers. I have how much I sold in credit, in cash, and in credit, but I don't have the total sales. I want to perform some calculations with that. So I drag this formula, this one, and after, I didn't mention that this one, if you ever forget about the filter tool, I'll always say that is like the dark side of the moon, and that will stick with you. The filter is the dark side of the moon icon, so you can remember that. So here in the formula, I will start to type in my formula. I can alter my columns that I already have, or I can add a new one. I hit out, and I will create a new column, total sales. I don't have the total sales. So I can here begin to type in cash, for example, and you see the auto complete here. I have cash sales, so that's the field I want. So I can type it here again and select cash sales, and I will add that to, if I hit the square brackets as well, it shows me all the fields. But if I begin typing the name, it pops up the right one. And here, two important steps here. I have the data preview just to be sure that this is working. And something that could give you some troubles when you are beginning with Alteryx, you have to look at this when you are creating a formula like this. You are adding two numeric fields. You want to make sure that your data type, the output, is numeric as well, because if not, it won't be useful for you to make calculations down the road. So I will select here. We have several data types, but I will stick to the double, being the one with the most precision for this. So I run it. And also, as you can see here in the results window, I have these alerts, and it's an overview of everything has done. That these three files, the fourth one, this one makes an alert. It doesn't, it's not a big deal, but it's not all right to join with double because it has a lot of precision. It's different than a float, and it's not recommended because when the number gets bigger, it's not rounded, so it could lead to some inaccuracies, and we can fix that. So in here, I have the results: how many records were read, how many records were joined, how many records were filtered, and how long this process took. So, and with one warning. So this is nice. It's a lot of information that is valuable for you. Here I can see also I have 15 fields before I created this formula, and once I created it, I have 16 fields. You see, I have 15. Now I created a new field. I have 16. And here it is, the total sales. So I have all these files in here that are available for me. So I can look at how my data is evolving or is progressing down the process all the time. That's something very nice about Alteryx. And how about, I will focus on a little bit on the community. How about, I am wondering again, what's the difference between the union and the join? Could be the same or couldn't, or which one should I use? I can look at the description, the brief description here. I can open the example, but also another option is come here to the right. In the search box, that is Google-like, I will type, for example, join. And here, if you don't remember the name of a certain building block, you can look here and drag it and drop it there. It should be easier. Also, you can take a look at the data you have related to that term. That's a different solution we have. And here is displayed the help as well, or the help. In this case, there's no help article, but here's the community. Our community, as I said in the beginning, is the place where you can find answers to pretty much everything you would need about Alteryx. And here's this article, Join versus Union. I want to understand that. So I will hit here, and this will take me directly to the community. It's open here in my browser. Let's just take a look at this. Here you can find articles about anything. You can see the academy, but this is the most important. You can ask questions or review some articles. For example, this one, Join versus Union. How do I know if I need to use a join or a union in here? So here's the answer. And the thing that is most nicest for me, is that sometimes you can find some attached workflows. You can do it yourself, and you can find it, and you can read the answer and download this sample, and it will help you resolve your issue. Maybe you don't have to build the solution from scratch. You can take somebody else's and reuse it. So I clicked on the attach workflow, and I'm going to open it just to show you. And here, yes, and let me save this just in case. Demo. And this one is an already created workflow. You see here? It has an example. It's already configured. It has data. So you can understand that you can solve any issue or any question you have. And sometimes you will get a workflow already created for you. That's very nice about the community. And then, I just lost my workflow, but hopefully I saved it. So after that, you can query the community with pretty much anything you need about Alteryx, and it's very nice, as you saw. Then I'm going to go with the next step. So now I have the total sales, and I would like to have, according to my use case, I would like to have the regions, each of the regions of my report. I have here this sorting. I look at the sorting order here, or the sorting, I mean. I will select region here, ascending, and I will select total sales, descending. The top performers in sales will be first. I'll run it. Then here, I see in the input, I have by region like this. I have north, west, north, south, is not sorted. And here I have now lost, lost. It's already sorted. This is quite easy, this one. And then I will use this. This one is also very useful. It's a sample tool, but it's not only for samples. I will drag it here. And in this one, you can select, for example, to have the first n rows or the last n rows or different options. I will have the 5 top performing stores. So I would like to have the first 5. And then in the grouping, I have the region here. So in the region, I will have this grouping. So I come here, and here I have a total of 15 were output in 3 groups. That is the result of this. Then in the input I have 260 records. Then on the output I have just 15 because I selected 5 of each region. But you know what? I have a lot of dimensions or columns. So I won't use each one of it. So I can reduce it or I can hide some. So I can go here to this join that has a select functionality embedded, and I will unclick each one. But I can go here in options, select. I will deselect all, and then I will just select the ones I will use. That will be store number, region, type, cash sales, credit sales, and total customers. In this way, I will have less dimensions or less fields that will make my report look better. So I can go here, and you see, I have 7 fields now, and it looks better because I have just the information I'm looking for. Store number, region, type, cash sales, credit sales, total customers, and total sales. So I have 15 records only, with each region, the top 5 performing stores. So now I want to fit that into a report. I will use this one. That's an output building block. I will go here and select the format. That will be a CSV because I need it that way. So here I come to the outputs, and here I will select the top 5 stores. Hit save. I run it. And now I have created that file. You see here I have this output. It's the top 5 stores .csv, and that is the root where I recorded the file. I have hit the data, and I can click from here to the file to take a look at how will this look in Excel, for example, here. I have the results export to Excel. Now I have it, and I can work with it. So this one is a CSV, but it can be opened with Excel. I close it. I'll save it. And then I also need to do a quick summarization. I will use this summarize. I drag it. And then here I have all the fields. But I just need to summarize by region. I will here select region. And in add, I can group by, I can sum. You see, this one is also could be confusing the first times because if I have a string data field, I can't sum. I was talking about that when I created the formula. If the result of the formula is double or int or something, I can use it for calculations. But if it's a string, I can't. So that could be difficult the first time you start to use this. So you have to make sure the right data type is for you to use the data. So here I will use the group by, but I have many options. I can count this thing, I have the minimum, the maximum, the first, the last, as well as some more complex formulas, the finance, numerics. I can have the standard deviation or something like that. It's pretty useful and powerful. I will select group by because why group by? Because I don't want to have repeated or regions. I have the same one, but I just want the totals for each region. So this way, if I group by region, I will get only one region and the total sales. Here, you can select. This field is double, so here is highlighted the sum. I can sum. You see here, I have the data types here. I have int, I have string, and doubles. So that way it will work. And here, I can change the output field name as well. Total sales, I can change it to total sales by region. That will look nicer for me. I hit run. And here is also something that is very useful from Alteryx. And here's the result, 260 records, summarized to 3 groups. Then the input, I have 7 fields and 260 records in the input. In the output, I have 2 fields with 3 records. Just that. Region and total sales by region. And that's it. That's the only thing I have now as the result. So I can go back and I can see the transformations, all the transformations it has. And if I come here to metadata, if someone is asking why do you get that data, I can have it here. For example, this is also interesting. Here I have source. These fields didn't exist before. The region, well, the region existed, but this is the group by region. So here the source is, this was created by a group by region. And the total sales by region was created by a sum by total sales. So this is like some kind of audit or something to be sure about the fields I have. For example, in the formula, also I can see the metadata. And here I have different ones. For example, here I have file that is multiple sources. This one, the type was about a formula that was my filter. You remember the dark side of the moon? No, the dark side of the moon. And here the formula in total sales when I created it. Cash sales plus credit sales. So this is something you can look at to know where data is coming. All the time you can have it. So that's pretty nice, I think. And now, to finish this, I will create this output again. I create this, I will configure it, and I will review with you the options I have to output data. So I have here as well as in the input, I have the data sources, databases pretty much. So I have here Amazon, that is on the cloud, Microsoft. Well, let's go here. I have Snowflake, for example, that is on the cloud as well, Google, Hadoop, all of these data sources, as well as the ones that are more traditional, that are on-prem, MySQL, Oracle. Those ones are available for you to write the output back. And in the files, I have also the same ones. I have here all these data types or file types I have available. For example, I will use right now, this is not an Excel, I will use this YXDB, that is an Alteryx database format that it's pretty optimized in terms of size and speed of processing. So I will use that one, but I can select any one. For example, I can, if I have a BI platform, I can export to QuickView or to Tableau. Or also, I will go back here again to Power BI. Those are being the 3 more popular BI platforms. We are very tightly integrated with them. And here, I will select this YXDB file as my output. And then I will create regional totals. I hit save. And you see here, I just have 3 records, but I can show you we have lots of options here. I can take the file or table name from field. I can select that, and it will filter. For example, it will make more sense with the other file. This one, I will show it with the other one. Here, just to show you the regional total, I will open it here. Here is the result. It's just 3 records that are very useful. It's just 3, but they are very useful because it's a result of all the process I did. For example, as a quick recap. Oh, sorry about the window. As a quick recap, I have here these 3 fields that I got from these 4 data sources. I accessed these files. I created some documentation about it. So then I did some data preparation. Preparation is I selected some fields, I joined, I filtered, I created a formula, a sorting, and some summarization, and this accounts for data preparation. That is something that is very important. It's part of the analytical process that you can't walk away from it. You have to do it always. And that led me to these results. It's regional sales. That could be my goal. It's very important. And in the other way, I can, from that same data source, I can get some more results, different ones. I have the region sorted, the top 5 performing stores. And what about if I want to send these to different managers? For example, the manager of the North stores, the South, and the West. So I can get the same file for everybody, but that will be clumsy or difficult for them because they will have information they don't need. So in here I can go to take file, table name from, and here I can append the suffix to file table just to know which file comes from, or I can change the file table name, for example, and the file containing the file name will be a store number. So we'll hit run. And now I have by region, I have lots of files here. For each region, I will have 1 file. That could be one option, or if I change the entire file path. That's the beauty of Alteryx. I can try all of the configurations here to see what will happen with it. For instance, this will open. This one opened a CSV in this way, this fashion. So you can look at all these configuration. For example, if I hit prepend and I keep the field output, I hit run. That's something that I just love about Alteryx. Let me see the data. Here, I can run it all over again to see the results. And this will close this example, or this sample I created. This is the output. So I did a whole analytical process. I mean, it's analytical because I need to perform some analysis with my data, and I used the favorite building blocks from Alteryx for this example. And I had created a process that could be automated. Once I save it, I can automate this and run it smoothly every time I need, just hitting run. That's pretty awesome in terms of automatization. So I will go back to my presentation just to do the closing about this. I will stop sharing. Now let me just, I got this question. Can you please go back to the data connection section? Sure. I will do it here. You mean this one? The data connections is right here. But we have it also documented, or if you download your your copy of Alteryx, you can look for yourself. That would be better. And also you can walk the sample just like I did with this. That should be nicer. I will close it and move on with this. I will stop sharing and go back to my presentation. Let's just see. Well, about the processes we covered, again, we combined data sets from disparate inputs. That's something that happens all the time for everybody of us. We pare down data, selecting attributes that are matching in between them. We created some expressions to calculate values, and sorted and created some sampling to output clear and concise insights. And here again are the tools covered: the input-output data, the browse tool. I didn't cover the browse tool. I missed that one. The sample, the filter, select, and pretty much all the tools that are in the favorites section. So that was the Alteryx Designer training. And yeah, my 2 cents for you in your Spanish is gracias. Thank you very much, guys, for your time. My name is Gabriel. So I will wait a little bit for some more questions. If you have some more questions coming down, I will take a look. I will share my screen again to take a look at some more questions that I have here. I will hit share. And here says that, can you open the summarize action? Absolutely. Here is this. So I will wait just a bit about that. Then, can you please go over the workflow again? Absolutely. Just a quick recap of what we did here. This was the data input. We inputted 4 files, different files. The total sales for the stores, and each of my regions: the west, the south, and the north. Then I have here these some preparation tools. That is the select, the join, the union, the summarize, the sample, the sorting, the formula, and then the output tools here, the output building blocks. That here I created my samples for that. What interface tools we can use to select the type of store and output mode or FS or both? What kind? The filter tool. You can use a filter tool to select that as a criteria. For example, here I have type, and also I can select the type of store and output mode. Yeah. Or I can, if you want both, I can go and block this false that has the rest and the true that has the mode. Some more actions. How does the data transformations in Alteryx better than in Informatica or Talent ETL tools? Oh, that's a nice question. I would say that Alteryx Designer is easier. It's for everybody. This you don't need to be an IT guy, an IT expert or something, or to know SQL. You can perform all the transformations you want to do in a very easy fashion. Just point and click, select the transformations, and that's it. And we can connect to pretty much every data source available out there. So I think that could be the main difference with that. Where can we find the recordings for the live video in the future? It will be sent out to you, and you can find it on the page on the Alteryx Academy Summer Camp as well. In a few words, explain the difference between union and union. Okay, in a few words. This one, the union, it's unions the data using the same structure. You don't have to have matching fields. I will click here. You see, here's how to configure by name, by position, or configure the fields manually. So if the structure is the same, if the columns have the same names or are in the same position, it will union. And in the join tool, the join building block, it's you have to have some specific fields, some ID or something like that. And also you can join it by record position. But the main difference is that here you can use specific fields and the output will be different. In the join, you can output the L, the R, that are the orphan records, and the J that has the fields that match. Practice whatever is talked in the session. Yeah, you can find it there's a link to a Dropbox folder, I think, where you can download the presentation, the files, and the workflow for you to practice. All these functions, joins, filters, etc., can be done in other tools as well. What is the advantage of using Alteryx? Join filter, yeah. The advantage of using Alteryx is that it's a single platform. It's very easy to use for everybody. As you could see when I was building it, it's very easy. And it's not only for data preparation. I just went over data preparation. That is the most common task you have to perform. But also we have a lot in the advanced features. For example, if you have your data already prepared, you can do in database. For example, you can do some data investigation that is on descriptive analytics. You can have predictive models with machine learning or traditional statistics, or geographic. You can have geographic information or spatial information calculations. So this is just the entry level for Alteryx. So you can perform many more actions in here. Can we have the data files? Yeah, I just mentioned that. It's posted already. It should be posted. Did we use the browse tool? No, we didn't. I will use it here. I will drag these. These are the binoculars. Here, I will join it and run it. This browse tool is subject fault rates. It's very useful. Here, you can look at the data. Down here, I can profile the data. You see, I have here this bar, this green bar that talks about the quality of the data. Here, when it's green, it means that it's very good data. And here, as I have spatial information here, I can get the data here. I will select this other map to render. I will show it in a bit. Here, if you have this latitude and longitude data, and you have the store point that you can create with Alteryx Designer, you can look at your data and do some geographic calculations with Alteryx. You can zoom in or zoom out. Here are all the stores I have according to my region. So that's pretty cool as well about Alteryx, and it's something you can use with the browse tool. And here you have all the fields. It's a simple sample profile. I can click on any column. And here I have this overview of the data. I have here this the fields that are okay, the ones that are unique, nose, not okay, or empty. So it's a lot of information in a single tool. I will keep on with the questions. What is the file for building this example workflow? Should be on an attachment? If you can find it, I will make sure we send it in the email follow-up for this. What is the main advantage of using Alteryx versus Excel, Consolidate versus Union, for example? The main advantage you see is very visual, Alteryx, as opposed to Excel, and Excel with lock down when you are above 1 million records. With Alteryx, you don't have those limitations, and you can work with databases and any file types, and you can perform so many different analyses, not only data preparation. So I think also Alteryx is easier to use and to reuse and to avoid rework, or is less prone to errors. Let me see here. Can you provide the data? Yeah, we are working with that. Can we connect Alteryx to Tableau Power BI for data visualization? Yes, I just showed that in the output. I will show here. In the output, I have here Tableau. We have a very nice integration. Also, Click is here. And in here, I have Power BI. So we can connect to pretty much all the most modern BI platforms. Can you easily change the data input when the data has been updated? Can I just swap out the data file with a new one and then reconnect? Yeah, or for example, if this data gets updated in a daily basis or a weekly basis, if you hit run and the data changes in the files, you don't need to change it. If it's the same file and has new information, it will get updated. If not, you can just change the reference file in here, and it will work. What could you do when new store data is generated, say the following month's data, and you wanted to append cumulatively? You can append it also. It depends. For example, in here, when you're talking about a CSV, it's not possible. It depends on the format. If you're writing to a database, you can append, or to an Excel, you can append as well. It depends about that, but you can do it definitely. Hi, Gabriel, that sales Excel data doesn't have the column names of the 3 stores. It has column names of data 1, data 2, data, instead of a store name. Did you rename it? Oh, maybe we can correct that. Take a look at the data. Let me see another question. Max file size Alteryx can handle. I will just answer a couple more questions because we are above the time limit, the time frame. The max Alteryx doesn't have a max file size limit. You can handle a big quantity of data, and it won't lock down. It has no limitation about that. Do we have the scheduling option for running workflows? Yes. Here we have this small clock, and here you can schedule your workflows. And here, locally, like me, I will save it, and here you can select the time you want to schedule your workflow. And this will be the last question. How to get back results window and overview window? Sometimes I'm losing those and try to find them when I'm back. Yeah, that should happen. You have here this pin, this one. It has auto hide. For example, if you lose it here, you can go here and take the overview, the designer, and hit here again. Or other option is in view. You have results. If you hit here, it's hide and hit back. There it is. So, well, thank you very much for your time, guys. Again, I'm Gabriel. You can throw me an email if you have any more questions or something. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a nice day. Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks, Gabriel. That was great. And just before we end, for anyone wondering where the data assets are, they should be in the center right of your screen in a box called Resources, where there's going to be a PDF with the slides as well as a link to the data and the workflows. If anyone has trouble finding them, post on community or email me or Gabriel, and we'll help you out. And the recording can be viewed at the same link that you watched it at today. So thanks again, Gabriel. Awesome job. And thanks, Jesse, for doing an awesome job with Q&A. And yeah, look forward to hearing from everyone soon.
All right. Thank you, Peter. Thank you very much, Jesse, for handling the questions. Again, have a nice day. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Take care.